All right, I'm gonna try this again. I don't know. I don't know why I'm having so many issues here. But I'm trying to start this class, and I've just been having so many technical issues. So hopefully, people will come to this one. Um, is anyone here? Hopefully, this works now after 3 previous attempts. I don't understand why I have these problems. Hi. Oh, good. People are coming in. Okay. I was just having a panic attack because all this shit is not working, and I'm having all these technical issues, and like I'm already half an hour late. Hello. Oh, good. I'm glad that people are finding this class. Okay, good, good. Okay, so the first one failed, and now this one's gonna work. All right. Well, since we're already late to start, um, I'm going to get started, and hopefully people will come in, and yeah, and then we'll just go from there. All right. Hold on a second here. Let me open this. Okay, here we go. Are we ready? Self-love and solosexuality. Hello, class. Welcome to PHALLUS 101, Education for Masturbation. I am Brother Antonello, your professor of all things penis. Our lesson for today is about self-love and solosexuality. Please feel free to leave comments in the chat, and we will also have time at the end of the lesson for discussion and questions. So let's start with self-love. What exactly does that mean? There is a prevailing misconception that self-love is wrong. People often confuse self-love with selfishness, but they are not the same. Selfishness is narcissism and greed. Narcissistic personalities are vain, arrogant, egocentric, and have an inflated sense of entitlement and lack of empathy. Selfishness is toxic to the individual and more so to those around him. But self-love is the real deal. When you truly love yourself, you are nourishing the light within you, and you shine your light out into the world. It improves your quality of life and your interactions with other people. Self-love inspires positive change. It heals the heart and opens the soul to give more love to others and receive it in return. There is a famous drag queen who said, "If you can't love yourself, how in the hell are you going to love somebody else?" I think her name is RuPaul. Perhaps you've heard of her. Can I get an amen? According to the ancient Greek philosophers Aristotle and Plato, there are 7 main types of love. These types are still relevant today and are acknowledged in modern psychology. I first heard of them at a seminar at the Rochester Erotic Arts Festival. They are useful for discussing the dynamics of relationships and the different ways we express love. The 7 types of love are eros, romantic love and sexual desire; philia, platonic love between friends or brotherly love; storge, which is the love of family, especially between parents and children; ludus, which is playful and flirtatious love; pragma, which is enduring and everlasting love; philautia is self-love; and agape is selfless and unconditional love. So philautia is healthy self-love. It is being kind and compassionate to yourself, acknowledging your self-worth, and feeling good about yourself. It is doing the best you can to grow, thrive, and survive. When you love yourself, you are practicing self-care and self-respect, which also allows you to love others in better and healthier ways. The way you feel about others is an extension of how you feel about yourself. So, go love yourself. In the first lesson, we talked about what the term autoerotic means. But how does that relate to the 7 types of love? Well, first, you can see that the word erotic is derived from eros, which is romance, sex, and lust. Autoerotic means eros of the self. But it is important to remember that this includes philautia, or self-love. Masturbation as a spiritual practice is a combination of self-love and solo sex. So you love yourself and you make love to yourself. So, before we proceed, does anyone have any questions about self-love or the 7 types of love? Lucian says, Anthony, I'm so tempted to perm my hair so it's like yours. Oh, honey, these curls are a bitch. They're a real pain in the ass to deal with. You should have seen me hacking at my hair with the comb this morning, just trying to detangle it. But I love it, but it is a lot of work. So does anyone have any questions about self-love and the 7 types of love? I'll give it another minute here and then we will continue with the lesson. All right then. All right. So now we discuss solosexuality. One of the most wonderful advancements over the past couple decades is how our understanding of sexuality and gender has greatly expanded, as well as the language we use to express it. We like to put people in boxes, but human sexuality and gender are complex, with a large number of variables and unique to each individual. So the fact that our language now includes a growing number of sexual and gender identities and expressions is quite natural. Sex and gender are not a one-size-fits-all. Conventional language categorizes people by their sexual relationship to others. Homosexual, heterosexual, bisexual, pansexual, etc. But what if your primary sexual relationship is with yourself? Solosexual is a completely valid sexual identity, but many don't recognize it, and some even scoff at the idea. Excuse me. The problem lies in the way society views masturbation. Sex is thought of as something you do with other people. Partnership is valued as a necessity, and people spend their entire lifetime in pursuit of another. If someone can't get laid, they masturbate. Many consider it a last resort and treat it as an inferior substitute. It is often not taken seriously and mocked in films and stand-up comedy. There are still many negative connotations associated with masturbation, and this is no joke. For many guys, beating their meat is the main course, not a side dish. Some simply prefer having sex by themselves and may find it more pleasurable than being with another. This is completely valid and should be respected. In order to remove the shame from masturbation, we must treat it as a legitimate form of sex that is equal to partnered sex. Solo sex is sex. So welcome to the era of the solosexual. Many people are realizing that you don't always need a partner to be satisfied sexually. There is great independence in sexually empowering yourself, and there's nothing wrong with owning that and being proud of it. Now is the renaissance of solo sex and self-pleasure, a masturbation revolution. But the male masturbation movement has been slowly rising for a while. Joseph Kramer, PhD, is the creator and founder of Sexological Bodywork, the Body Electric School, Orgasmic Yoga, and other accomplishments. In 1992, he released Fire on the Mountain, a video about male genital massage for couples. This was an important development because many men and women were introduced to new techniques of erotic massage and manual penis stimulation for the first time. In 1995, Bruce Grether began developing his mindful masturbation practices. He later released a video series called Mindful Masturbation for Men, demonstrating the beauty of male bonding through prolonged masturbation. In 2012, he released his book, The Secret of the Golden Phallus, Male Erotic Alchemy for the 21st Century. He also developed his erotic engineering website with his friend Blue Tiger. Baitmaster Bruce continues his work and has become a masturbation mentor for men all over the world. In 2009, a revolutionary new website was launched. Bait World is an online community for male masturbation. Much like Facebook, it is a social media website, but nudes and dick pics are permitted and encouraged. Men can masturbate together on video or chat with each other in various groups and share fantasies and experiences. Its members are men all over the world of all sexual orientations, gay, straight, bisexual, solosexual. All are united through their love of masturbation. In 2011, Chatterbait was launched. It is a live webcam adult website where viewers watch webcam performers masturbate and have sex on camera and chat with them. Viewers can give tips to the performer in the form of tokens. The performer can create a tip menu to encourage viewers to pay certain amounts of tokens for certain performances on camera, such as a striptease. The performer can also charge for private shows and create a cum goal, which is exactly what it sounds like. There are also anal vibrators that are designed to buzz when viewers tip, and bigger tips mean a more intense buzz and a climactic finale. But what is the origin of the solosexual? The term solo-sex was uncommon until Dr. Harold Litton published several books about it in the 1990s, but solosexual as a definitive term seems to originate on the internet. There are YouTube videos dating back to at least 2007 of people declaring solosexual as an identity. After the introduction of Bait World, men began to talk more about the concept of solosexuality and what it means to them. But outside of these communities, most people were still unfamiliar with the idea of being a solosexual. A blogger named Jason Armstrong played a big part in changing that. On his blog, Hunting for Sex, Cautionary Tales from the Quest, he writes about his delightfully raunchy sexual adventures, as well as self-love, solosexuality, and Bait World. In 2016, he released his first book, Solosexual, Portrait of a Masturbator. This was crucial for introducing and promoting the concept of solosexual as a sexual identity and influenced the widespread use of the term. His book was so popular that it became the #1 bestseller in gay studies and the #2 bestseller in LGBT studies on Amazon. He also introduced the male solosexual symbol, which is the male gender symbol, which is Mars, a circle with an arrow pointing out of it. But instead is with the arrow pointing inward instead of outside the circle. And I can actually show that to you. Hold on, let me find his book on my Kindle, and then you can probably look it up, but you can see what this looks like. Bear with. Aha, here we go. So, there we go. See that? That's the cover of his book, and that is the solosexual symbol, a circle with an arrow pointing inward. All right. Okay. Just as we know that human sexuality is complex, so too is the solosexual. There are some who identify only as solosexual, but most also identify with other sexual orientations. Masturbation is their preferred sexual activity, but they may also have sex with other people. You can also be a masturbator and not identify as solosexual at all. You can be a wanker, gooner, pornosexual, or popper baiter. You can also be an autoerotic phallusist, or anything you want. Every man's relationship with his penis is different, and there is a place for all of us. There is still resistance, of course. Some internet headlines describe solosexuals as millennials and discontents in an unfavorable tone. Just like self-love, solosexuality has been falsely equated with narcissism. Some have questioned if solosexuality is healthy, and some have even equated it with being asexual because, again, society likes to define sex as always involving more than one person. But for many, solo sex is healthy, safe, and equally as gratifying as partnered sex, if not more so. So let us stand tall and proud, my brothers, with our cocks in our hands and fire in our hearts, and firmly declare, I love myself and I love my penis. Praise Phallus. So, that concludes our lesson, and now the floor is open to you. Albaline and poppers for those long edging sessions. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, that's very much a popular way to edge while you masturbate, and it's very, very common. Oh, so that concludes our lesson, and now the floor is open to you. Do you have any questions or feedback about self-love, solosexuality, or autoeroticism? Was there anything in particular that interested you the most? Would you like me to repeat any information or elaborate on any points? And finally, what topics would you like to explore in future classes? This is a participatory, interactive class, so your suggestions and input are welcome and encouraged. Does anybody have anything to contribute? It looks like I had 5 people in here, and now I have 3, but I guess that's okay. I was hoping more people would show up this time, but I think with all the technical difficulties, it was just hard to get this shit together. But yeah, so thank you, Lucian. Yeah, thank you. Despite all the nonsense I went through, I think it went very well. So, if you enjoyed this lesson, please like and subscribe. Like and subscribe so you can stay up to date on when the next lesson will be, as well as other future content. You can also find me on Facebook and Instagram as Antonello the Fabulous Fellow. If you're interested in a tarot or phallomancy reading, you can email me at thefabulousfellow@gmail.com or message me on social media. I also have an uncensored Twitter account dedicated solely to phallicism. Please be aware that this is sexually explicit content, so enter at your own consent. And I'm going to put that information in the chat right now. Hopefully. This would be easier if I could use StreamYard, but I was having a problem with with YouTube, and then I was having a problem with StreamYard, and so I came back to YouTube, and now I'm here. Hold on, I'm having trouble with this thing here. All right, screw it. Yeah, this would be much easier with StreamYard. Okay, I think I've got this under control. All right, very good. So those are my links to all my media. Excuse me. If you're interested in learning more, or if you want to communicate with me about any of these subjects related to phallicism, or if you want to share ideas with me of things that are related to that you find interesting, or you want to pick my brain about ideas, please don't ever hesitate to message me about that. I'm always happy to talk about this subject and share ideas with like-minded brothers. It really does mean a lot to me to have this phallic community, and I enjoy the communication. So thank you for joining me for Phallus 101. I look forward to seeing you all next time. And also, have a happy foreskin of July and Independence Day. I love you all. Praise Phallus. Have a good evening and have a good weekend.